guys, how you all doing? Hope you're well. The video that's been requested so much is my makeup collection. Now, yes, I have a lot of makeup, and since I chose to, you know, get into the world of beauty blogging, my makeup collection has basically expanded and, you know, grown ridiculously. I'm gonna probably do like a series of my makeup collection as opposed to doing one massive long video showing you everything. So I thought I would do it like that, like breaking it up. So let me know what you think about it. So this first section, if you want to call it that, of this series is going to be my foundation collection. And I think that was because somebody actually did specify that. I'm going to break it up into drugstore and high street and also high-end foundations. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so just a bit of background in terms of my skin type. I am oily combination skin. Now I get an oily T-zone. I just mean that like my forehead, central forehead area gets oily, my nose tends to get oily, where my cheeks are here tends to get oily as well, and also around here tends to get oily on my chin. So that's what that's what we mean by oily T-zone. Typically I get oily in the center of my face. That is what I'm trying to say. That was long. So if you have like dry skin, I do have some foundations here that may be better for you than for me, and I'll explain like which ones I liked, which ones I didn't like in my collection. The first foundation I'm going to talk about today is this one, and this one is by Freedom Makeup London. I got really excited because I saw that they did a foundation that would match my skin tone. Now, Freedom's a bit funny, as in, like, they will do foundations that match my skin tone. They'll do powder, like contour powders that you know, work for me. But then their concealers and their contour stick recently, it just, yeah, it's not the right shade. So anyway, this shade is called number 12 and it's a matte foundation, and I did use it. I only used it once and I thought it worked quite well actually for what it was. It's really cheap as well. I think it's under £5. I really need to use this a bit more and test it out a bit more. I thought it was okay foundation. I don't really think it's that great, but it is a very cheap foundation, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so the next foundation I'm going to talk about is this one, and this one is by BH Cosmetics and it's their newer Studio Pro foundation. Well, it's in colour 130 and I do have the lighter one as well than this. Now, this foundation I do not like. I've done a whole video on it and I'll link this video here. It basically doesn't sit well on my skin. I've seen people rave about this and say that they really like it, but personally I just found it oxidized a lot. For me it just didn't work, so I don't like it. And this one's very dark. I did get the lighter one, but that was too light, so I had to mix the two together and it just didn't work. So yeah, I didn't really like it. Another drugstore foundation is this one. This is the Rimmel Match Perfection foundation. It is in the shade, for me it's in the shade Deep Mocha. I think they have about 3 or 4 shades for darker skin tones, and you can actually find this in Superdrugs. Yeah, that's where I picked mine up, and it was like $7.99 or something when I picked it up. But I thought this was an okay foundation. I think the next one I'm going to talk about is better, but this one was an okay foundation. I would definitely recommend it. To me, it smells, it has a little bit of like a watermelon kind of smell that Rimmel products tend to have. So if you're like sensitive to scents, then yeah, this might not be for you, but I did think it was quite a good foundation, so you could try this out. It is supposed to be, it's not a mattifying foundation. This is a 24-hour moisture hydration foundation. It is going to leave you more with that more glowy look, if you like that look. If you don't like that look and you want a more matte foundation, this definitely isn't one for you. I typically prefer matte foundations, but I just thought this worked well. You will definitely need to powder with this though. Now, this next foundation is the one that I was talking about as the other option, and this is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. And guys, I have to say that I love this foundation. This definitely is one of my favorite in terms of the high street or the drugstore foundation range. This foundation itself is, again, is supposed to be a hydration foundation, so it's not a mattifying foundation whatsoever. In this particular foundation, it does actually have some like gold specks in it. This foundation, for a drugstore foundation, this matches me really well. And if you're not aware, I'm actually an NW45 in MAC, and the shade that I'm in this one is Cappuccino, and I believe they do darker than this. If I was to recommend any of the newer drugstore one, then I would definitely say try out the L'Oreal True Match. It will give you more of a silky look, but I think it looks more like skin as opposed to like really dewy, hence why I really like this one. Definitely one of my faves. Now this next foundation is one that I do not like, which is not a new foundation, but it's a new color in this range. This is the Dream Satin Liquid Foundation in the shade Golden Caramel. Now if I remember correctly, this foundation only used to stop in caramel. So when I saw it was in my shade, Golden Caramel, I decided to try it out, and I have to say that I do not like this foundation whatsoever. I tried it on, it just makes me look oily. Like, I don't know what else to say. I just don't like it. It makes me look oily, greasy. It doesn't last very long, it slides off, it just doesn't look nice on me. Claims to have a satin finish, and it's supposed to be giving you a poreless perfection. I don't know, I didn't really like it, so it didn't do all that for me. It just made me look greasy. That's all I've got to say about that. If you have a drier skin type, then maybe you will like this, but personally, I just didn't think it worked for me. Okay, this next foundation is one that I was pleasantly surprised by. This is the H&M All Day Liquid Foundation, and this is the darkest one, I believe. I think it doesn't tell you the shade on the actual bottle. This is their darkest shade, Chestnut, I think, because it doesn't say it on the bottle. But yeah, this works really nice. It blends into my skin really well. It surprisingly matches me really well. It's supposed to be an all day liquid foundation. It gives you I'd say a demi matte finish, and it does last for quite a long time. I won't say it lasts all day like a, you know, Estee Lauder double wear. Now I do get oily wearing this foundation, but it's not ridiculous in terms of the oiliness that it allows to pass through. It just looks really nice on my skin, and I'm very impressed by this. I can't remember the price. I'll try and put the price down below if I can, or link it in terms of online. You can pick this up in store, or you can pick it up online, but definitely give it a go, because yeah, I was very impressed by this. Okay, quickly sticking with H&M, I just want to quickly mention this, which I showed you in my recent H&M haul, which is their foundation quad. It's basically got 4 different foundation shades in it. Now, this particular one, I don't use it as a foundation quad. I use it more for contouring, but I just thought I'd mention that. This is a really good contour foundation quad, if you want to call it that. Definitely, if you can pick it up, I would definitely pick it up. I love the fact that it's got like really dark shades in here, and you know, you can definitely see that this is darker than my skin tone, which I thought was amazing. I think this price range is about £10 in H&M, but if you see this, I would definitely recommend that for you. Okay, the next foundations that I want to talk about is this one, which is the new Body Shop foundation. Now, this is called the Fresh Nude Foundation, and I have to say that I haven't personally tried this foundation yet. I just saw that it came out with a couple other things, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But I saw that it came out and I was really intrigued. By the way, I love foundations, and when I see something that comes out for deeper skin tones, I rush and I get it, because I just think that's amazing. So I went to get this one, and I will definitely try it out. If you want me to do this and try it out with you on video, then let me know and I will do so. The shade that I picked out is number 75, which is Caribbean Mahogany. That's the shade I've picked out for myself. I don't know how well that will match me. Now, if that doesn't match me, the Body Shop actually came out with 2 new shade adjustment drops, and this is them there. And I've picked up both because one is a lightening shade adjusting drop and one is for darkening your foundations. So I thought I'd try them both out. I have used the lightening one and it does work. So yeah, I really like this. The only thing I'd say is it's very difficult to get a lot of product out of it. It comes with like droppers, if you can see that there. This one is the dark shade for deepening and darkening up foundation, which I really appreciate because it's quite difficult to find your shade in foundation, so having a lightening and a darkening one is quite good. And also, I've heard a lot of people talk about cover effects and their shade adjustment drops, and I didn't really want to spend too much on the Cover FX one because I thought it was quite expensive. So finding this in the Body Shop for, how much was this? I'll put the price down below, but it wasn't expensive really. I thought that was really good. Now, the last two foundations I'm going to talk about from the drugstore, I will say you actually can't get them here in the UK. I did pick mine up from drugstore.com like last year sometime. This is very mucky, by the way, I'm so sorry, but I've nearly finished this foundation because I love it so much. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Now, you can get this here in the UK, but you can't get shades for deeper skin tones in the UK, which sucks. It's so annoying. It's ridiculous. It just angers me when they do things like this. But anyway, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I love this foundation. This stays on so well. It lasts for ages on my skin. Like if I want, you know, just a quick drugstore, I don't want to spend use my higher end foundations, but I want it to last, this is the one I go for. That's why I've nearly finished. I also use this to mix because this is too light for me, because obviously we don't have it here in the UK. I was trying to work out which one was my shade. It does last for ages. It claims 24 hours. I just wish they would bring this out in our shade here in the UK. And then the last one I'm going to talk about, which is here in the UK, but this particular one isn't. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation, and again, this is something I really love. Now, the difference between this one and this one is that I think personally that this one is more of a demi matte finish, whereas this one is like a proper matte finish. But again, this isn't out in the UK. This matte and poreless version isn't out in the UK yet. Hopefully they'll come out next year, I don't know, hopefully. But this has been out in America for ages, and again, I bought this on drugstore.com if anyone ever wants to know. And I got mine in the shade Coconut. Now we do have the one that's not matte and poreless. There's just the regular Fit Me foundation, and we do have our shade in this foundation range here in the UK. But what I found with that particular one was that it made me greasy looking. Like, I did not like that foundation. If you're dry skin, you will love that foundation. But for me, that one made me greasy. So I was so happy that they came out with a matte and poreless version of it. So yeah, I really like this. This, again, like I say, would be more of a demi matte finish, but this is a great everyday foundation. What I will do is I'll do a part 2 of this video, and the second part will be my high-end foundation. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye, ciao. So you can see all of the lipsticks right